Welcome to Wholesaling 101. So, what exactly is wholesaling? Well, when we talk about wholesaling in the traditional sense, in the quote unquote real world, when we talk about wholesaling, whereas a retailer buys low and sells high, a wholesaler is going to be somebody who buys very low and sells very low. In real estate terms, wholesaling is the act of putting a property under contract and assigning your contract or your equitable interest in the property to another investor for a profit. 9 times out of 10, the wholesaler is not going to be doing any work to the property before they're signing the contract or equitable interest. When you are dealing with a contract that is non-assignable, such as bank-owned properties, also known as REOs, you can write the contract in the name of an LLC, and you can assign the LLC. Any other time, unless it's stated otherwise, by default, contracts can be assigned. Sometimes, and this is relatively rare, sometimes a wholesaler will actually close on the purchase of a property and they'll resell it. So they'll actually settle on buying the property and will then resell it. It's not preferable because there is added expense, and in many cases it's unnecessary because there are better ways of accomplishing the goal of reassigning a property. Now, one very important thing when we talk about wholesaling is we mentioned that it was the act of putting a property under contract. We also mentioned that it was buying very low and selling low. So that leads us to the question of what exactly makes a deal? And here's a nice formula that you'll definitely want to remember. And it's the formula of the maximum allowable offer formula. And here's what the maximum allowable offer formula says. It says MAO, which is your maximum allowable offer. Maximum allowable offer is going to be 65% of the ARV, which stands for after repair value, minus repairs. And ARV, after repair value, some people make a big fuss about it and get it and really get it mixed up and run and have trouble grasping what after repair value is. Simply put, after repair value is what the property will sell for in average to good condition. So, in a $200,000 neighborhood, ARV is $200,000. That is the price that properties in good condition or average condition will sell for. And that's not going to count distress sales such as bank-owned properties or maybe short sales. So, just to recap, maximum allowable offer is 65% of the after repair value minus any repairs that need to be made. So, let's see what this looks like in this example. In this example of a property having an ARV of $100,000, 65% of that minus 10% in repairs means that the maximum allowable offer is going to be $55,000. And once again, that's going to be the maximum allowable offer that an investor would be willing to pay for that particular property. Now, as a wholesaler, we've got to add an extra step and factor in our desired wholesale profit, because the act of wholesaling is reassigning a contract for a profit, not for free, not for fun, and not because you're a nice guy, but for profit. So when we take a look at the formula of 65% of ARV minus repairs, we must then subtract our desired wholesale profit. In this example, the desired wholesale profit is $10,000. So 65% of $100,000 ARV minus $10,000 in repairs gives us $55,000. And then we subtract our $10,000 desired wholesale profit, and that leaves us at $45,000. And $45,000, that means that's the most we could offer on a particular property and have it at a price that an investor would be willing to pay for it and us make a $10,000 profit. Part of ARV, part of the maximum allowable offer formula is determining repairs. And a lot of new and even some experienced investors really have trouble with repairs. I'll just tell you a few things that have helped me, especially as a new investor, when it comes to determining repairs. Number one, break the house down into its components. So you've got this big house and it can be overwhelming. Well, take a look at the house and take a look at the components. How many windows does it have? How many exterior doors does it have? How many interior doors does it have? How many kitchens? Usually one kitchen. How many bathrooms? How many rooms total? How many light fixtures are going to need to be replaced? When you start to break it down into components, and you can learn the prices of these common items by going to a Home Depot or Lowe's websites, and you can start to see how much these components cost, and you can also talk to contractors or talk to other investors, and find out the average cost or the middle of the road cost for having windows put in or for having new doors installed. And when you break it down into its components, you can start to easily or much easier determine repair cost. Also, very important, when you go to look at a house, take pictures and make notes, because when you look at enough houses, it becomes pretty easy to forget what you've taken a look at and what you've seen. And the devil is definitely in the details when it comes to repairs. So take pictures and take plenty of notes. Now with wholesaling, your profit, in example, we use a $10,000 profit. Very important to know that your profit is not limited to $5,000 or $10,000 or any amount. Your profit is strictly determined by your ability to find and negotiate killer deals. This example you see before you is a deal where I made a wholesale profit of $34,000. Considerably much more money than an average $10,000 or $5,000 profit. In this particular deal, I was able to negotiate an excellent price, and I was rewarded for negotiating a killer price. Now, why wholesale? Why give up juicy deals and sell for only a fraction of the total projected profit? Well, here's why you wholesale. Wholesaling is a low and no risk investment that's highly leveraged, and it's almost all profit. When you think about wholesaling, uh, it's all profit. You're what we like to say, you're pushing paper. You're putting a property under contract with often a very small deposit, and you're reassigning that contract, and what's left is pure profit. There's very little overhead. There's no inventory, physical inventory, stock. There's no financing cost. Wholesaling is also very quick cash. Your typical wholesale deal is done in 30 days or even less, whereas your average rehab, 90 days for a rehab deal is pretty quickly. Many experienced investors will tell you the average rehab payday is more than 90 days. Also, wholesaling is a great way to capitalize on deals that just don't fit your criteria. If you're out looking at a great deal to rehab or looking for a great buy and hold property, or if you're marketing, doing any type of marketing, you're going to get leads. You're going to come across properties that are good deals, but either don't fit your criteria. Not the right location, not the right price, too much work needed, or maybe great deal, wrong time. Maybe you just started a rehab deal, you can't take on another one, and this property comes along. Well, what do? Do you just throw it away? No. You wholesale it and you make a profit on it.